If you think that I'm above dunking on this bullshit, then you just don't know Chris. Buckle up, it's gonna be a bumpy, spoiler-free, hype-free review. What's up, cretins? What's up, creeps? My name is Chris, I am the only person talking horror on the internet. And probably the only person that saw The Strangers Chapter 3. No bullshit, here's my theater, 7:45 p.m. on opening night. So let's get into it. In Chapter 1, which is the third volume in the franchise, we learned that people exist and nothing happened. In Chapter 2, which is Volume 4 to the franchise, we learned that those people can run and nothing else happened. Now, in 2026, we will finally learn what is the fucking point, if any. Alright, let's bring this up to break this down. Director Renny Harlin is a goddamned genius. And I mean that sincerely. Imagine being so good of a con man that you coax a major film studio not only into giving you the rights to like a probably top 5 horror franchise to come out of the aughts, but you get them to pay you up front for the entire trilogy. Like, don't even bother to see how the first one does. Fuck it. Just give him the money and send him to work. I mean, it's not like he's had bomb after bomb after bomb after bomb. He did Nightmare on Elm Street 4 35 years ago. He's probably still got it. He earned millions of dollars for this franchise, and for what? To destroy it? He does an objectively piss-poor job here, choosing to close out an already overbloated trilogy that could have been told in a single film with 91 minutes of high school film class level storytelling that's intended to get you sent to the guidance counselor for being so misunderstood. But I guess he pulled it off. I guess these things come together as shoddy and shitty as they are. 5 out of 15? I'm gonna let you creeps in on something. Richard Brake is one of my favorite actors. He's got such next level intensity and believability, and he is wasted in this trash. He is given nothing to do. And that's not to say that the other actors are afforded very much to do. The strangers are quiet and brooding, and everybody else is perpetually either nervous or they're dead. I am sure that they tried. Within their confines, Madeline Petsch and Emma Horvath managed to at least be convincing. It's evident that they are both deserving of better than this dreck. 6 out of 15. You know you're not getting Aaron Sorkin level writing with this trilogy, right? And that's wild because I would argue that the original film's effectiveness lies more within the screenplay than anything else. You ask anybody why that movie is scary, it's universally because of the line, "Because you were home." And that line works so well because everything before and after is structured around or supportive of that revelation. Here, the delivery of that line is just part of the checklist that they have to abide by. It's fucking words on a page. But outside of that, there is a full reliance on you having seen Chapter 1 to validate what's happening in Chapter 3. And only Chapter 1. You don't need to see Chapter 2 because nothing happened in Chapter 2 that progressed the story. But either way, if I can't watch this as a standalone film, you've not done your job. Open goal, 3 chances to kick it in, you shit your pants all 3 times and they called the game and sent you home. 3 out of 15. So, I guess there is an element of terror that is built into these characters. There is an element of terror that's built into this bigger picture, absolute possibility of the situations, but they fuck it up by never fully committing to the suggestion of this being a community collectively conspiring. They fuck it up not only by unmasking, but also revealing the backstories and making the people behind the masks absolute douchebags. They accomplish nothing with mood or tone, having shifted one of the earliest examples of trauma horror into a pop slasher. 4 out of 10. Aesthetically, it's nothing special. It's lost the washed out tone that served Brian Bertino's original. I don't know that Renny Harlin has a specific style, but there's nothing particularly stylish here. Conversely, I guess there's nothing like overly bad. It looks fine for a run-of-the-mill slasher, let alone the subpar slasher that it is. 4 out of 10. Obviously, the biggest issue with the story is that there is absolutely no reason for this to be 3 movies. Apparently now they're trying to put out like a whole bloody affair where they assume that people will show up for 5 hours of this trash. Fuck you. This was maybe an 80-minute movie that was stretched into 3 films. But the wild thing is that the broad outline story really doesn't present anything different from the original Strangers or The Strangers Prey at Night. The nuanced parts that do change things up are at best dumb as fuck. Like the Scarecrow and the Pinup having a makeout session with their masks on after killing somebody. You can just feel Renny Harlin sitting there going, hey, you guys know what would be really fucked up? What if Scarecrow liked killing somebody so much that it made him want to fuck? Right? Like right then and there, just like full on boner. Ooh, yeah, we're gonna make people remember this one. But at worst, they're downright irresponsible. This may be a mild spoiler. I don't think that you give a fuck at this point, but one could watch this movie and infer, you know, I never really thought about killing somebody before, but I don't know, maybe I could be into it. The trilogy as a whole is probably like a 3. But this isn't a whole story because elements rely on the first film. 3 films, 3 points, averaged out 1 out of 10. The kills are fine, I guess, if not overly done. The original is about meaningful terror. This is not a gore series. We shouldn't be involving wood chippers and gratuitous guts and eyeballs. Nothing clever, nothing innovative. It'll do to suit your bloodlust. 5 out of 10. Originality is non-existent. This is a bloated retread of places that we've been and things that we've done. Anything new that they bring to the series, they either don't commit to or fail at. 0 out of 10. Rewatchability. If the 3 were a single standalone film, it'd maybe be at like a 2. That gets knocked down to a 1 because I can't watch this without the other 2. And then it subsequently gets knocked down to a 0 for embarrassing the franchise. I would rather forget that it happened. 0 out of 5. Alright, so let me be clear, it was more frustrating than it was enjoyable. Here's the wild thing. This is such a monumental failure that I could see this becoming a cult trilogy where people ironically speak to its merits and like try to assign deep philosophical objective to it. Or a call and response thing like Rocky Horror enjoys. Midnight showings challenging you to outlast the Strangers trilogy. It's not unwatchable, it's just really, 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 really fucking dumb. 1 out of 5. So, overall, these add up to a possible 100 points, and when I chainsaw this off, your Massa score for The Strangers Chapter 3 is 29 out of 100. Brian Bertino's original exercise in real-world terror has become something that wavers between trite nonsense and edgelord bullshit under Renny Harlin's guidance. Congrats to you, Renny Harlin, on your 3-film payday. Congrats to us on this bullshit being over. Kindred Spirits, The Strangers Chapter 1, Halloween Ends, I Know What You Did Last Summer, 2025. That's all I got for you, cretins. That's gonna do it for today, creeps. Do all these things. Let me know if you hated yourself enough to watch The Strangers Chapter 3 and what you're doing to get help to start loving yourself again right over here. But as always, this is all just a matter of opinion. See it yourself, make your own decisions, remain critical, support horror.